We're here today outside the Georgia Viaducts, which many consider to be a key entry point to downtown Vancouver. But there are those that say they are no longer of any use and are taking up usable land in the area. Today we'll talk to those in favor of demolishing the viaducts, those who say keep them, and we'll hear what you have to say. Let's start the free talk. Hi, I'm Allison Riley and welcome to Free Talk. Now, the Georgia Viaducts were built in the 1960s when the city of Vancouver had intended on building a freeway right through the center of the downtown core. Now, this idea was shortly after rejected, and the industrial yards and railways that they once crossed have since been removed. Today, the viaducts serve as an east-west connector between Main Street and downtown for bikes, cars, and the transport of goods. So the city is considering demolishing the viaducts. Do you have any opinions on that?
I don't think they should. It's a really good corridor. It is easier to drive down the viaduct. Like, I do drive, and it does have bike lanes on it, which are great. So I think they should keep it.
You need a route, some route into Vancouver from Highway 1 and from the border. Vancouver is very poorly organized that way. We're still very much of a country city. So before we destroy things, we need an alternate, such as Boston. You put in an underground, but you're looking at billions and maybe 20 or 30-year project.
Another 1% traffic issues in downtown isn't going to really make a difference, I don't think. It'll just force more people to go on bikes then. So let's start traffic issues and then more people can start riding bikes.
I think they demolished too many things too soon. I don't think it's fully used its usefulness yet, and we certainly need it.
And why do you say that we need it?
Because there's so much traffic trying to get across there.
The first question was, could we make traffic move properly without the viaducts? And the answer was yeah. The engineers took a look at it. We did a study, and they said absolutely. We could reconnect Expo and Pacific Boulevard, frankly, to Dunsmuir and Georgia, and there are other options. Get rid of one viaduct, keep the other, get rid of both, shorten them. So the study became pretty exciting pretty quickly, and there are a lot of options out there that could produce a much better neighborhood going forward for our city. Because once it's built out, the viaducts will be a permanent feature, and they don't need to be. We can imagine it in a different way. The viaducts were put in there to get over rail yards that no longer exist, to connect to a freeway that we rejected in the 70s. So it's okay to think about different options. As we bring on more rapid transit, we find that the numbers of people going across the viaducts is declining. So they're still really important, but traffic over the viaducts has been dropping every year for about 15 years.
I think it's a great idea, actually.
And why is that?
Because I think our downtown area needs to expand, and it can only go east, and that's that area right over there, and I don't think that a freeway is really the highest and best use for that piece of land.
I think it's good for the residents in Strathcona. Like, it would be better. I mean, Prior Street is kind of a nightmare right now with all the traffic that comes in to go over the viaduct, so I don't know, it's such a residential neighborhood in there. It might make the whole sort of east side a little more of a community.
And what do you think they should use the land for if they did decide to demolish them?
I think it should be mixed use. I think it should be residential, commercial, office towers, parks. It's a huge area of land, so I think you can get a lot of good mixed use out of it.
Probably do something underneath it that's better than, I'm not even sure what's even there. I think there's a skate park, maybe.
One of the options that was proposed by staff is that we take out Georgia, which could be reconnected to the ground. There's a whole bunch of options there, and then open up all the space that it covers that's substantial for recreation and so on, not development per se. And then we'd have the opportunity to make some revenue and help the taxpayers on the revenue side with the Main Street blocks. There's a contest that anybody can plunge into. I think the deadline might have just passed, but it was an ideas fair really, where anybody could throw in their 2 cents worth about what could happen. And we're hiring a professional team to look not just at the design issues here, but how it connects over to the False Creek Flats, that whole area that's behind the old train station and the bus depot, where it was historically. But I think in the core area, people are always coming back to green, recreational things like that, and a lot of people are proposing an idea which is surprisingly expensive but has a lot of appeal, which is a Highline Park or elevated park. It's turning into kind of a global movement to use downtown space that's been covered by roads for more sustainable purposes. And I can't see why Vancouver couldn't go down the same direction. It's really important we take every chance possible to find more green space down there too. And you can't grow more land. All you can do is try to repurpose what you've got. this is the last chance to sort of reimagine this whole downtown core in its 21st century setting. I mean, it was swamp, it was rail yards, it was industrial space, and now it's the front lawn of tens of thousands of people who are living in the heart of the city. So I think we've got to do the best job we can for them.
There's still a lot of debate and study that will be done before the fate of these viaducts is decided. So if you have any questions, comments, or even ideas, feel free to contact your local city councillor. I'm Allison Riley, and thanks for watching Free Talk.